Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yes, my name is Timothy Daniels. I live and work in Jersey City. My gosh, I'm nervous already. I'm sorry.
No, we're just having a conversation.
Okay. Again, my name is Timothy Daniels. I live and work in Jersey City. I work at Jersey City Medical Center as a community health worker.
Okay, awesome. And how does the LGBT community relate to you?
Well, I'm gay and came out gay when I was 15 years old.
Oh, wow. Good for
Mhm.
you. Was your family supportive? Just
My mom was in the beginning, but as I started to open up and be
mm,
myself, it became, yeah, it was like bumped head a lot. So
mm.
yeah, it wasn't as good.
Let me guess. It was like you can be gay, but what you do is behind closed
Right,
doors,
right.
all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff, and you know, can't bring home boys or girls.
Coming from a Christian background and church and everything else, that
Mm.
presented other issues as well.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a bit of that myself.
Uh-huh. But we're good now. We're good
Mhm.
nowadays. We're good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's yeah, we can do a whole thing on that.
Right.
Having family and what you go through with that. Yeah. So why I'm talking to you, being that you're not a Bergen County resident, right, is to ask you about Bergen County. And then weirdly, why do you care about Bergen County?
Uh-huh.
So what I'm asking is, why do you think that Bergen County doesn't have an LGBT center? Do you think it's needed? And what would those needs be? And I'm asking you specifically because you're so well entrenched in the community and really well versed. So I want to look forward to your insights.
Well, to answer the question about Burton County and the reason why they don't have it, um, I guess because they feel as though it's not needed. They feel as though they don't have gay folks or any LGBT folks there in the county. Um, Forgive me. What was the other question again? The other
So
question?
do you think it's something that's needed?
It's definitely needed. I mean, and I find myself, um, even though I live here in Jersey City, I still find myself sometimes going to New York, and I know since there's nothing in Bergen County, I know folks are either coming to Jersey City or going to Newark or going to New York for services where they, can feel comfortable and be around their other peers. And I just feel as though they need it. I mean, they do have a gay club there, right? Which is
Yeah, feathers.
Feathers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't. Okay, forgive me, Nick.
No, no. Nick is my husband. I just using him
Okay, I'm sorry.
Nick Anthony, but no, that's it's all right. And it's kind of cool because I just did this last weekend we did a funeral service, and it was a friend of mine's lover passed, and he like randomly was like, "Hey, would you do a reading for me?"
Yeah.
I do not like talking in public. I do not like talking in front of people. And it was so surreal to sit there and reading this passage.
Yeah.
And then in my head thinking, okay, slow down. Okay, do this. And then like make
Right.
sure you don't forget what you say. But
Right.
I know all this, I like all this pressure to read the thing. And I'm looking out, no one's even paying attention.
Uh-huh.
So it's okay. Don't worry. This is just us talking.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So can you run that third question again to me again?
So like what are the needs? So like, all right, so when I talk to people, often when they think about LGBT, right, they often have this perception that it's in their head, it's an effeminate gay white male from like the 80s kind of a deal. That's what the image they invoke. And that's where from that is like those are the needs. We have to protect our gay 80s white men who had to deal with AIDS and HIV, and then marriage equality, and then that's it. And then once those things are fixed, then there's no more problems.
Mm-hmm.
So what about the transgender community? What about lesbian community? What about older people or people, of color? And, so I'm hoping to have conversations and say like, well, what are your thoughts on that? Do you have similar feelings?
Well, I know the importance. Let me go track back to when I was a teenager. Growing up, there's no handbook on being gay. There's no
Mm,
handbook on having sex, the importance of using condoms, who to look out for, what to, because for me, growing up, I didn't have anybody to look up to. I didn't have anything. Couldn't talk to nobody. Um, I forgot how I stumbled upon Hudson Pride here, but before then, I was just out here, dealing with people, having it was just a lot at during my teen years. So needless to say is that the importance of having an LGBT center and having people within the community to help you is very important because, like I said, I was out there having sex with people. I was out there. I was pretty much out there. I didn't really have anybody to teach me or tell me what the roles are, like top, bottom, verse, whatever. I had to find out through people who prayed on me.
yeah.
And my thoughts are there, but it's not coming out the way I want it. Um, we need to have these. It's not coming out the way I want it.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Because
So
it's so many good things I want to say, but it's not coming out the way.
that's okay. We have time, and we'll get it.
Okay. Um, but needless to say is that I didn't have any. I didn't during the times I didn't have anyone to talk to. I didn't have anyone to show me around or tell me what to look out for. Um, by being at the center that I was in, it helped me and it enlightened me to know like uh my safety on where to go because during that time it's not that long ago. I'm only 34, so um being a teenager within the city, it's like we couldn't go certain places because of the potential gay attacks or just oh, I'm sorry, Anthony.
You don't have to apologize, man.
Oh my gosh. Um,
Yeah, so
I'm
you're dealing with, let me, all right, so because I think we had very similar, I grew up in Maywood, so it's not the same background, but we had very similar life experiences where, you know, growing up, back when I was growing up as a kid in the 70s and the 80s, you saw just everything was straight people. They didn't exist. Gay people really didn't exist unless it was a joke or unless it was someone to beat up.
mhm,
You know what I mean? So, immediately to put down. So put yourself in those shoes. And I don't think people get that, being in those shoes, you find out you realize you're gay. How do
mhm,
you figure out how to have a relationship? Because everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to have a relationship.
right.
Everyone wants to have sex. Everyone wants to do these things. How do you do them if you don't have any reference or point of references? And then, of course, you have the people that are going to prey on you and take advantage of that.
Mhm,
So, I was one of those young kids, that were molested, and thought that that was the way. You
mhm,
know, you quickly I found out, fall into sex work and stuff like that.
mhm,
So it's really easy to fall that way. And then, but the perception from the outside is, oh, you're just a freak or you're just dirty, you're a deviant. And I'm
mhm,
like, you're talking about kids.
mhm,
Kids
right.
who don't have the bandwidth, who don't have no one there supporting them, no one there helping them, and having all the worst negative influences from family members, you know, and that is their life. And it's like, how do you expect anyone to get there? So I'm thinking that's just generally across the board,
Right.
you know, but then there's levels to that,
Mhm,
right? So you have the gay thing, but then you have people of color, then you have transgender. Not saying that they're less than, but it's just like an added stuff onto it. So you have other stuff to deal with, transgender community. How do you deal with that? And gay people, we start to find our community, but then if you're transgender, the gay
yeah,
community is going to be bashing you.
yeah, exactly. So that
It's like, so there's all these things, and look at our populations. You know, look at the people that are struggling. Look at the people that are who are dying and no one's reporting about it.
Mhm.
You know, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a
Oh
soapbox.
no, great. Yeah, no, you're helping me because like I said, we definitely have similar stories. Like I said, there wasn't enough mentors or support during the time when I needed. I just know that I know this feeling of being gay, and who can I talk to about it? Who can show me around? So, um, and I feel as though it wasn't a lot of support for gay men with my skin color, black, brown, and like I said, it was just, and I'm so sorry. I'm like
Well,
all
to
over
apologize.
the
Yeah.
place. I'm
Yeah.
all over the place. I'm so nervous right now.
Why are you nervous?
Because I want to speak and give experience, but I want to touch on the topic and not drift off.
So tell me what are the topics that you want to touch on?
Well, the topics the questions that you asked me, the importance of having a center in Bergen County and why
Mm.
it's important, and also just trying to conveying a message to other people to understand the importance of it. And
We're kind of doing that, aren't we, though?
yeah, but it's more so you giving good answers. Me, I'm over here struggling, trying to give my experience and stuff, and I'm like, am I really helping? Is this good?
You're in your head too much, and you're
I
thinking
am,
about
and
you. Like when I was on that thing, that podium reading, there's just me and you.
okay.
It's just me and you right here, and and we're talking about like look, what's it like to have been you, and look it around and see when you went to the Hudson Pride Center. You went through that. You used to
Yeah,
use those services.
yeah. So I went there for services. I usually went like after school or during the weekend. It was like a getaway.
Yeah.
Um, Being at home, I really couldn't do what I wanted to do, but my mom being there, and her not really at like a year later, not really accepting the fact that I'm gay. So going there really helps. I develop a whole bunch of friends, also support as well,
Mhm.
and support in ways of like just having a second family.
Yeah.
Um, Being able to just be authentically me and don't have and not having to worry about judgment or anything.
Mhm.
Um, it also helped shape me into being one of the employees years later. Um, I found out that I contracted HIV at 19. So also having them around has really helped me because I didn't know how my life was going to go or how it was going to shape after knowing that news. So
Mhm.
um, still having the support of them and my friends and also being employed has really empowered me to really like take stride in my life and go forward and continue on
Absolutely.
that great path, and also be a good mentor to someone else, because like I said, I went through a lot, and if it wasn't for the center being here, I don't think I would be in this situation right now. I don't think I would be a community health worker
Yeah.
or be in the community as much as I am right now.
So,
So
so
having, sorry,
no, no, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
no, so like having centers like that targeted for LGBT, especially the youth who are coming up, I think it's very important to have one there instead of going all the way to another city just to get away from home. Like I should be able to just get up, maybe to go take a bus or just walk a couple of blocks to the center, hang out, do whatever, get all the help that I need, and you know, and do things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, two things.
Hmm.
What do you think your life would have been like if you didn't have that experience with the center? And what do you think are what some of the things that would have happened, or where would your life ended up being?
Oh, I would have been out there in the streets, probably strung out on drugs or something. Admittedly, I did have experiences with other guys, drug use and all that. And again, that's because I really didn't have the support. I thought that this is what it was supposed to be like. That's what I thought at that time.
Mm,
They offer you this, or they say certain things, and I'm talking about the older guys who came after me since I'm young and so forth. Um, I think I'll be out. I think I will be in a bad situation right now
absolutely.
um, without the help of the center,
Yeah.
like the youth center and stuff.
And it's like I think people need to appreciate we don't have many elders. A lot of our generations have been wiped out because of HIV, and so we don't have even within our own community to look to
Hmm.
representation. So what do we have is TV,
Hmm.
which is not a really good
Good
depiction of us.
reference. No,
Yeah.
it's not.
So that's what you're talking about is exactly what I'm trying to make visible, right? So there's on the one hand, we're talking about life experience and we, lived experience, and we know in our hearts and on our experiences why this is important. But on the other hand, I'm trying to point out to people, it's like, look, we have in Bergen County, X amount of people, so 5, 6% of that population is LGBT. Now, if you don't have support, your story is more common than not.
Mm.
That 5 to 6% of that population is going to be struggling. It's going to need services. It's going to need, and if you don't have it, it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Right.
So instead of, stumbling here because of lack of, help and life experiences, you end up doing drugs, and you end up doing this, and you end up doing that. That's just the way it happens.
Hmm.
So if you look at that as a community, that ends up like 5 to 6% of your population is going to be lack for a better word, a drain on society,
Hmm.
because they need all that help.
Yeah.
But imagine having a center and empowering these people,
Mhm.
catching them before, like a safety net, catching them before they fall down that rabbit hole. Now
Right.
you have 5, 6% of that population able to produce and live healthy lives and be earn wages and contribute to society,
Right.
I mean, as opposed. And I'm trying to show people that there's a real need for this,
Mhm.
whether, and it impacts everyone, you know, people we know across the board, whether it's addiction, whether it's sexual assault, domestic abuse, drugs, it's like double when it's
Yeah.
LGBT. The numbers are like double each of them, you know.
True indeed. I mean, because I mean, what other place would you go to that can make you feel whole, that can make you feel great about yourself? Many feel as though they don't have a place to go to, and if they have that one person that will give them the attention that they need, the support that they need, they will
Mm,
gravitate towards it. Whether it's negative or positive. And if you gravitate towards the negative all the time, it's gonna be ingrained in your mind, like, okay, this is how I can do things. This is what the gay life is supposed to be. This is how, but in all in all, you're just setting yourself up for failure. And I almost set myself up for failure, because at that young, I went into the whole escort thing too. I thought that was the way. I didn't have any other, at this time, I was going from place to place. So, like, I didn't have any other income coming in. I needed some quick money. And I went that route. I sure did because I didn't have anyone else. I didn't, who could I talk to about my issues? At that time, who could I look up to? Who can guide me in the right direction?
yeah,
So I didn't have a family at that time. Well, I didn't have my chosen family at that time.
yeah,
I didn't know anyone to help me through my issues of abuse and issues of identity and issues of just surviving. Even through high school. Like I said, it was an issue up until my junior year when I found the center.
yeah.
Just yeah.
And there's like the more academic part that I was describing, but
Mhm.
then the lived part of it, which I don't even know if I have words for it, but to sit there and say sit inside of yourself and not feel um never ever really feeling quite whole or like having a real family or having a real love experience or and struggling with that your whole life.
Mhm.
I don't think people get that. You know
No.
what I mean? It's like never really feeling genuine, never really, always struggling with these issues throughout
Right.
your life. And, you that's just your life, you put up with it. But I don't think people understand that is immensely unfair. And I really, I'm in a point in my life, it's like I don't want to see that anymore. I
Mhm.
don't want people to go through that anymore. I have a big family, so I have young nephews and nieces that are, who are popping up and they're, gay or whatever. I don't want them to have to feel that.
Mhm.
And just imagine what it would be like if our experience or have anyone's experience where it just you're gay, so what, and then let's live our life and let's just
Right.
be our best selves and let's be find love and have support and not have to have all these holes within our soul and our hearts, what I mean,
Right.
that just imagine what your life would have been like or our life. And you know I'm fighting for people to for the generations to have that and to repair the people like us that I know we have those scars and
Yeah.
they don't go away,
No, don't.
It's like, so that's what this is about, for me, you
Mhm.
know. So
And like I said, it's good and it'll be beneficial. Like I
mm,
said, who wants to, you know, feel alienated within their own city or county? You
mm,
know, why do I have to go all the way to another city or state, and use their money and use their funds? Sometimes you can't even use their funds because it's
yeah,
only for like the folks who live in that city or state.
yeah,
So potentially that one person is not getting all of the services that they need or that they want.
yeah,
So
yeah. And then it's like, yeah, and it's just really sad. It's
mhm,
really, really sad. And yeah. So yeah, so I think we're about in a good spot to end.
okay.
So do you feel comfortable with everything that was talked about?
I'm feeling good. Feeling pretty
Yeah.
good.
And like I said before, if you'll have access to this, and if you repeat it in like, hey, that part there, can you get rid of it? I'll edit it out. Whatever. This is for you as much as everyone else to have it out there, a
Mhm.
representation of you. So even if you want to just end it, just let me know. I'll get rid of it.
Okay.
So you are aware that this is being recorded and it's going to be made public, and do you give consent?
Yes, I do.
He felt a little hesitant. Is there like, oh,
Hopefully, like I said, hopefully, this will be beneficial and hopefully my words can help other people see that the importance of having a gay center in Bergen County will help the youth that is coming up, questioning youth. Like I said, there's no handbook to being gay.
yeah.
But when you have a service that is there, that is help, that will guide you, that will help you through your process,
Mhm.
and not just that process, but other areas of your life, it will be great.
So let me ask you, how do you feel within yourself talking about this stuff? Did it unlock some stuff for you? Do you feel better
Oh,
or worse?
oh no, I feel good. I mean, it definitely helped me remember the times of when I was, in the sense of going through the different experiences that I went through and how, and looking where I'm at right now.
Exactly.
Because without that center, I would not be as um, great as I am today. That's
Yeah.
how I can put it. Without them, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
So I say to you, you were saying, I hope it's beneficial. And so that experience to me is you're valid and you experienced that. So this has done some good.
Mhm. It has
You know what I
tremendous,
mean?
tremendously. It did.
Because I'm talking to people and it's like, we don't get platforms. Gay men, women, transgender people don't get people looking at you and seeing you as a person and hearing our voices and what is our struggle. So
Mhm.
I don't have any illusions that this is going to blow up and make anything big,
Mhm.
but if this has touched you in a positive way, then I'm happy to do this work and stuff.
Yeah,
you know
it did. And like I said, hopefully someone else will see this and
yeah,
see other people's experiences and see the importance of it
yeah. All
and
right,
have a different outlook.
so I'm going to end the thing. If you want to say goodbye to everyone.
Bye. And thank you for having me. And thank you for having me.
Of course, of
My
course.
nervous wreck.